Hello everyone, this is Bill, and today I'm going to ponder the question is, has fitness saved my life? And this is in the context of that I'm autistic, and according to the internet, autistic people live 16 years shorter than, I guess, a neurotypical person lives. And given that, yeah, I guess that's kind of sobering. The other thing I do know is that if you're severely autistic, which I'm not, but apparently severely autistic people don't even live past their 30s. So this is, it makes you think about things about life and stuff. One thing that it really bothers me a lot, I see on social media, especially on retirement channels, telling you to retire as soon as possible, is this idea that the average man only lives to 74 years old. And I think this is really misleading because most people, when you think of average, you probably think, okay, well, this is where this is kind of the halfway point of a distribution, if you will. Half would live less and half would live more. Well, this is actually not the case for longevity because the more meaningful statistic is the median, which is actually where half live before and half live after, and that's about 82 or 81, 82 years old. This is probably why you notice when you do the Social Security, do I take it at 62 or 68, 70? A lot of those crossover points are around 79, 80 years old. So, so if we take the 81 as at least a way we may think of what an average is, half living before, half living after, you subtract off of 16 from that, I guess my longevity should have been about 65 years old. I'm 67 now, so I guess I'm doing a bit better than that would suggest. If I use what I think based on my VO2 max is my maximum possible age, which would be 86, I guess that takes me out to 70. So there's some things to think about. But another thing you see on these longevity, or not longevity, but so much the retirement channels, is this idea that Americans lose their health at 66.1 years. Again, this is another one of these statistics that's thrown out as an average. Apparently the average health span of what you're looking, of a U.S. citizen is like 66.1 years. Now, what does that mean? Now, this statistic comes from the WHO, and it's kind of defined as at the point where you, I guess, develop a significant health concern. I guess that's probably the best way to phrase it. Now, of course, this seems to get distorted by some of these retirement channels to now meaning that you have now been diagnosed with a serious life-threatening disease, which may or may not be true. Again, I'm going to put that one in perspective. I know quite a few people, like in my workplace, we're all aging, that are over 66 years old, and while we've all had our little health issues, I wouldn't describe these people as seriously unhealthy or like incapable of living life, with independent functionality. So again, what does this statistic mean? If it's an average in the same way they've computed the average age, what this probably means is that, okay, you could get cancer at 55 years old and you will fully recover from it. Say it's cured, and that would, I guess, count you as a unhealthy person, or you may have had a heart attack in your 40s, but you're still alive today. Again, that counts as an unhealthy person. And then, of course, I don't know if, let's say you're diagnosed with, say, cholesterol problems, so now you're put on a lifetime regimen of statins or whatever it is they use to treat that. Does that make you also an unhealthy person? Even though you're still fully independent and apart from age declines, you can carry on life pretty much without too many restrictions. Speaking of myself, I've had a hernia surgery and also had this lipoma removed. And I mean, to me, does that make me unhealthy? I don't know. I mean, to me, I see these surgeries as one-off kind of things. You get it done, you're finished, and you don't expect it to recur. So, and even if it did recur, it'd be easy to treat. So I don't even know what that statistic means. But once again, if they're computing the average like they would like a lifespan average, where you're waiting in the years when these things happen, that does not mean that half the people at 66.1 have had a major health concern and half have not. I mean, I would say the median for that statistic, you probably could add another 6 years on that. Maybe takes it up to 72. So, but anyway, getting back to the autism point, on the surface of it, why would autism shorten one's lifespan? It doesn't seem to be connected. But one thing I will say is that markers that are seen to be associated with long health span, like strong grip strength, ability to move your body well, high VO2 max, things that have been mentioned, if those things really are as important as they say they are, and I believe they are, I mean, this certainly would make sense that autistic people would have shorter lifespans, because autistic people do have like 40% weaker grip strength than the neurotypical average. And that's actually with a standard deviation of 17. So that means even if you're in the 95th percentile of autistic people, you're still going to be probably 6% weaker than a neurotypical, assuming standard Gaussian type distributions here. So yeah, it does seem like autistic people do have physical deficits that would be associated with the shorter lifespan. Now, speaking for myself, before I did all the strength training I was a pretty sickly person. I got colds and flus all the time. I also am pretty sure I had metabolic problems like insulin resistance. This is why I think I have a hard time putting on weight and can kind of get away with eating more than I probably should and not put on weight. Now, the diabetes side of things does run in my family among people that are not autistic, so I think that's more of a genetic thing. So yeah, but the strength training and, as I say, the calisthenics I do, I just don't get sick like I used to. And also, I've done blood sugar tests on my blood, and I don't get the insulin or the blood sugar spikes either. So I think the strength training definitely has helped my health. I mean, whether it saved my life, maybe that's an overstatement. Again, there's no control experiment here. In my family, it's a mixed bag. I mean, my sister died at 63 years old, and she had diabetes problems. My father lived to almost 96. So he obviously lived a long life. He just got very frail. My mother died just short of her 88th birthday, and she did pretty well. And my grandfather, though, he died at 66. Year less than I've lived so far. My grandmother, I think she died at 91, and then I know we've got relatives that have died in their 50s, so it's just all over the place. But anyway, if you enjoy this video, please give it a like, and Pepper and I will talk to you later. Come on, Pepper.